I need to clean. But need to make my burgers. So I've been investigating 9/11 again, and it's disgusting. The more I look into it, the more I see exactly how corrupt this world is, and how so many things don't make sense, and how everything is just a lie. You know, hearing evidence of explosions in the basement levels and the lobby area and stuff, and it being blamed on jet fuel falling down hundreds of feet to a single elevator shaft. And but the thing is, it was also the jet fuel was also able to do the same thing in both buildings. Yeah, the fuel that was used, or that explains the failure of the structure. Yeah. None of it makes sense. And what does make sense is that, you know, like, I was believing that there might have been, some extra weaponry used or something of that nature. Like ion cannon, like from Command and Conquer, or something like that. Because there was a pyroclastic cloud essentially that took over the city, like that area, which is why there was a lot of scorched vehicles and such. Jet fuel into all that. The thing is that there is blatant evidence for explosives being used due to the fact that when a building was on fire, there was a limited potential energy of the added weight on the impaired structure. However, the building tapered, meaning that it was thicker at the bottom and skinnier at the top. Like some of the outside columns, on the bottom were, a couple inches thick, whereas up on, the top floors, it was, only like half an inch thick or something of that nature. Just didn't have to support all the weight. So that being said, and there's only so much energy within a closed system. The only way that anything can be explained is through additional efforts. Meaning that there's more potential energy inside the structures than we've realized, or that we've haven't been told about. And one thing that I can say, about the all the dust and everything of that nature. Because I'm being a little bit more logical about this, and and I actually saw a great animation which showed me helped me actually, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. And so you have, I mean, so there's the outer walls, which are supporting and structure and whatnot. But then, so with World Trade Center 7, the floors were just knocked out. Like, explosions went on, from the basement, to the top. And, it's a pancake. I mean, there's a couple different ways to explode some, or to implode something. But anyways, the floors, the center of the structure went in on itself, and that's why a lot of the debris was, more in the basements. Oh, where'd all the dust go? Like, where'd the towers go? They went into their own footprint because they just went, all the floors went down, and the charges that were in place pulverized the concrete, and like, because I was having I was thinking that the buildings were missing floors and or stage buildings, just a fancy storefront, like my World Trade Center 6 video that I made several years ago. And, and the whole thing with Flight 93 didn't look like there was any sign of a airplane crash. We have Operation Northwoods, which was basically to get us involved. What was that with the Cubans? I believe it was. Because that was during the 60s and stuff, and so like that's pretty chaotic in itself, right? And the fact that, I mean, in the heat, like, how was it that the buildings were still on fire for months afterwards? They were still pulling out molten metal, like, friggin'. One thing that can do that is, well, it's a chemical reaction. I don't believe that a tactical nuke was used, or like a briefcase bomb or something like that, because there would be fallout and everything of that nature, and actually there is fallout, and the fallout is of barium and aluminum particulates. And what is familiar with this is that it goes into the chemtrails inquiries, because they do exist. It's foolish for people not to understand this. That we're getting so many different, too many thoughts racing through my head. So with the chemtrails and stuff, and it has earlier onsets of Alzheimer's, respiratory issues, autism, and things of that nature. And well, that's what a lot of people that are have the 9/11 sickness are experiencing. All that hazardous dust and stuff, and that's why a lot of people have died. Unfortunately, just from the aftermath of that, in at times of tension like this is what we need to realize, is that we're not at wars with each other. We're at war with our own government, because our government is trying to manipulate us And well, it's the deep state, it's the shadow government. It's something that we've all talked about for a long time. And oh my God, you're just a crackpot conspiracy theorist. Well, how about all the ufologists out there who were freaking, what's that word? Who were legitimized with the recent declassification of U.S. government research into UFOs. It's pretty interesting, huh? You know, so and and all of a sudden being called a truther is as what's better, being a truther or being a liar? I'm not spreading any non-truths. I'm asking legitimate questions. I'm bringing up formidable, uh, inquiries, evidence, sources and such. Is it wrong for me to believe that? I mean, we'll look at the Oklahoma City bombing and whatnot. And, an entire side of a building just fell right off. The only way to do that is with pre-placed explosives, and the thing is that they found explosives, in a building and stuff of that nature. Excuse me. The thing is that if it was really as big as I said it was, there would be a huge crater, blast area. And if it was a shape charge, how does it shear a building straight like that? These are things that we need to think about, and also look at the 93, what was it, 93, 94, World Trade Center bombing. And the thing is, okay, as crazy as this sounds, maybe they did that to allow for inspectors to get in there and place the real charges. And the thing is that, 8-9 years later, 9/11 happens. These people have access and doing inspections and this, that, and the other. And who knows if, the fire retardant application that they actually, were using didn't potentially contain the accelerant needed to expedite the carnage. But the thing is, there was a guy that went all the way up one tower and, started coming back down and stuff. So, the thing is that the heat wasn't that bad. The fires were not that bad in certain spots, yeah. But, there's more to the thing, and we need to open up the investigation on 9/11 because September 11th, 2001 changed everyone's lives, and it changed the world. We need to do something about this shit. We need to open up the case. We spent more money on investigating Bill Clinton getting a blowjob than we did on the loss of 3,000 plus lives. In all these years of fucking war. All these years of lies, man. And I can show you some simple experiments. And I will be working on those here soon.